What's up, guys? It's Bradley G. Smith with another Keymaker Nation podcast. You wake up, drive 30 minutes to work as an employee at your 9 to 5, which you hate, and all you can think about at work is providing for your family, starting your business, moving it forward, changing the world, and in the process, living the life of freedom and fulfillment you've always imagined. This podcast helps you transition from employee to entrepreneur. My name is Bradley G. Smith, and welcome to the Keymaker Nation podcast. So, I'm driving home from work, and I just had some thoughts for today, basically related to branding and selling for your business. As you guys know by now, I'm a software engineer, and I really took that path starting in about 2005 when I was in college, and I started seeing people build software online and doing direct response marketing and selling the software, and I thought, this is a low-hanging fruit. It's something I can do. I don't actually have to be the one to get up and sell. I will just build the software, and if the software is good enough, it will sell itself. And so I sort of held that false belief for such a long time, and I'll give that one caveat because I do think that every once in a while a piece of software is created that gets recognized for some reason, whether it's just a piece of software that a lot of people use and it just sort of takes off. One such idea that comes to mind was a guy that plugged into the YouTube API and created a YouTube page, a YouTube search page. So he had a YouTube search bar, and you could just right on the page without ever refreshing it, search for a YouTube video, and the page would automatically refresh without ever like sending a refresh to the server. It was what we call in software engineering an AJAX refresh. So that and what that means is just the UI, the user interface changed, but the page never reloaded. And a guy built that, a software engineer built that, and he tweeted it out, and like overnight it was an instant sensation. And in turn, he immediately got contacted by somebody at YouTube, and they asked him if he wanted to come work for them. So I've always sort of heard those stories, and I do think they happen, but the amount of times that they happen is very rare. And so I've just sort of lately, had to sort of ask myself, why have all the projects that I've worked on that I've thought could be a huge success in some community or some niche, and I've poured hours and hours and hours just to get a minimum viable product to a specific niche, and then when I put it out there, it just doesn't get any traction. And I've sort of had to answer that question for myself. And it's related to my inability to sell and my inability to market well to that specific niche. Now, I can do SEO very well, and I can do inbound marketing well, but there's a little bit more to it than that, as I've started to understand. And I've come to that conclusion after reading a lot of material and listening to a lot of videos and podcasts from people who have already done sort of what I'm trying to do. And they've done it with a business that has software that they've built, and they've done it with businesses that don't have software. They just are selling a product of some sort in their business. And I've sort of had to sort of bite the bullet and admit to myself and sort of be humbled a little bit and realize, what, I think I'm gonna have to do what I don't really want to do and figure out how I can sell, how I can market better. So that's really what I've been on a journey for, really focused for about the last 8 months. And so I'm really excited because I've been consuming a lot of material, and I want to start sharing some of that with you. But I just wanted to throw that out there. For you and your business, is there something that you could be doing that could market your product a little bit better. And one thing that immediately comes to mind is, could you be adding a face to your brand and not just a logo? And I'm saying this not as something I just thought of, but something that I read in all this research I've been doing, is that when people can associate a face with a brand, the ability for that brand to sell is so much higher. And that's whether you want to be on camera or not, whether you want to be speaking or not. If you can associate your brand with a face, it becomes so much easier to sell. So, you know, and then the objection to that would be, well, why should I have to associate my face with a brand? That's kind of counterintuitive. You know, the ultimate dream of a company that I can build and grow and potentially one day sell is that I won't have to have my face in the brand anymore. But and so therefore it would be self-sustaining and it wouldn't require me. But then I would say, okay, well, are you there yet? Have you made enough sales to be able to say, okay, now I have to start thinking about what my exit plan is for this business? And if you haven't, think about it. Just think what it could do for your brand to not only have all of its branding material online and all of its related logos, but more importantly, to have a face, maybe you, maybe a business partner, maybe one of your really star employees, but that has some cons to it. But what could you do if your brand had your face associated with it? What could your business do in terms of marketing, in terms of sales? And so that was just a realization that I recently had, and sort of you know, one of those moments where I had to say, okay, what I'm doing is not working, and what can I do to make it a little bit better? And so this is where I'm at with it. So I'm just sharing sort of what my epiphany is. So hopefully that's helpful. And yeah, I can't wait to talk to you guys in the next podcast. And I'm getting close to home, so I will catch you guys soon. Hey guys, don't forget to join me in the Keymaker Nation private Facebook group. If you're listening to the podcast via iTunes, please rate and review. And if you're listening via YouTube, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, thanks for listening.